All right, so we've got it recording again.
Yes, this definitely isn't the second time we're shooting this video.
Because I definitely didn't completely screw up the audio, making our first recording of this entirely unusable. I may be a failed attempt at a wannabe YouTuber, but I still have standards. So to cut to the point,
we're just gonna be watching the video of you proposing to me at the Winter Talent Show from church last year, because we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Daniel proposing. The reason we're not married yet is because we're pushing the wedding back because of COVID, and I'm a high risk. We'll probably still do the legal end of stuff, but we wanted to kind of sit back and reminisce again, because now this is the second time.
So the important context to know before we start playing this video is...
We're going through this again.
No, well, we'll do it more streamlined, because the last time the recording was also ungodly long.
But we're also going through this again of you just rambling without any sort of direction.
I'm sorry. So
you couldn't have made a list beforehand to...
Have you met me? So our church used to do a talent show every year. Probably would have done it this year, but again, COVID.
The ongoing Backstreet Boys tour. Yeah,
so I emceed the talent show the last 2 years it was done. And I have this ongoing thing that I do where I have little games, like, forcing the pastor and the worship pastor and whatnot.
And their spouses.
To play the newlywed game. Here's the catch. I never warn people before I drag them into these games, because I think it's funnier that way. Abby knew about this, and she did not know I was planning on proposing.
No, I did not. That part was a surprise. So this is essentially the last game of the night, where Daniel pulls me up on stage to partake in a game that is just an elaborate setup so he can propose to me.
Yeah, we will throw in a couple of important details as they come up.
I also don't know if we're going to watch the whole thing this time.
Yeah, we will fast forward through some of the points where I'm just awkwardly standing there.
Yeah.
All right, like I said, that was the final act. However, we're not quite done. Because you see, when this was supposed to happen...
I will add in again, though. This is nervous Daniel. This, on the screen, this is nervous Daniel. Because Daniel never stands that straight, ever. You're a very slouchy guy.
I'm also usually not... I like to think I'm not quite that stiff.
Your shoulders are so tense. Also, you're proposing to me and you're wearing stained jeans, regular sneakers, and a t-shirt that says "No scrapes, no scars, no proof."
Yeah. To be fair, if I was dressed up, you'd know something was up.
Or I just think you got dressed up to MC the talent show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
In December, a certain person said in so many words,
I was that certain person.
I'd be willing to be in one of your game things. And I remember you saying that. I have one final game, and it's going to need 2 people. One of which has already volunteered, but has probably forgotten that she volunteered. Hey, Abby, I'm going to need you up here.
How dare you?
How dare you have a good memory? Oh, boo-hoo. I am going to need one other volunteer, and I very carefully selected them. Hey, Harry? I'm gonna need somebody. Now, there's something you need to know. Actually, first.
So, what I wanted to point out is that because I did not have any forewarning about this being a proposal, I'm not wearing anything nice either. No makeup. I didn't even brush my hair. It's just up in a messy bun. Because I had been going through some terrible chronic fatigue and pain in the months and weeks and days leading up to this. So I was exhausted. I basically got to the talent show by my parents dragging me to it.
Because they knew what was up.
They knew what was up. And that's probably the only thing I don't like about the proposal is I wish I'd had a little bit more forewarning so I could have gussied up a little bit.
but I also wanted to make sure you were surprised by it. So that's the catch.
Yeah, but I'm all cleaned up now.
Yeah, because you did have warning for this.
Yes.
Hey, Scott, would you mind grabbing... There's a music stand back there. Gonna need one of those. And this one over here. There's something you need to know. There are 2 things you should never do. One is... ask an artist to draw something with no notice. The second is ask them to do it in front of people, so I'm about to make 2 enemies. So to try to lessen the blow...
Yeah, that reaction was...
I couldn't have asked for better.
Because at that moment I realized, oh crap. He's doing everything I would never want him to do.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
How dare you? Do we want to skip ahead a little bit?
Now I feel like the beginning part setup is actually...
Well, I decided to be super nice to you guys.
Oh wait, this is just me handing you the...
Yeah, it's just you handing us
You're
some
each gonna
stuff.
get one of these, and yes, you can keep them.
So you give us
30
supplies.
seconds to draw something.
And there's
So,
me being upset that I only have 30 seconds to draw
drawing
something.
I'm gonna pull up a stopwatch on my phone, or a timer. Probably should have done that. You are gonna have 30 seconds to draw a heart.
I kind of feel like that this one almost isn't important because it doesn't play into the proposal.
It doesn't. It's just kind of the setup for what I was doing. Basically, I had them do a speed drawing battle where they... Yeah, this one was just kind of a warm-up for the whole thing.
All right. You are going to... For the round 1, you're going to have 30 seconds to draw a heart.
Do we have to be anatomically accurate?
No.
Thank you.
Abby covering all of her bases.
Yeah, that was a genuine
As soon as somebody else volunteers to do this, I am
pause.
doomed.
Oh yeah, I do also want to...
That was a genuine question. That was me genuinely asking, do I have to be anatomically accurate or can I just draw something stylized?
Yeah. Because she's really good at the latter.
Thank you.
The only reason why I specify the latter is because I don't think anybody wants to draw the former. Yeah.
I did not warn them at all, so I guarantee
No, you did not.
they're both very not happy with me right now.
Yeah, that's about the shaking size of it. Do you want to team up? Against Daniel? Sure. We're going to be in the next talent show. Yeah.
Which thankfully there hasn't
Somebody
been
else
one yet.
volunteers to do.
We're going to get you, though. I know how we're going to get you.
And I am so nervous. I have no idea what she has planned. But something tells me Lorelai would totally be down.
I know what we're going to do.
There will be a follow-up video, I guarantee it.
3, 2, 1, time. All right. What have you guys drawn? Ooh, swirly heart. And
Kind of like your traditional Valentine's Day card.
Valentine's Day card. All right. By, crowd opinion, admittedly it's kind of small, so who thinks that the swirly heart is the better one?
She did do a very nice job.
She did. She did a
who
good
has
job.
their votes
Like, you
on
can't
the,
see it very well here,
the
but
more
she did a very nice job.
Valentine heart? I think that one went to Harry, but it was pretty close. All right. For the next...
Not that the judging matters at all in this.
It doesn't.
You're filibustering.
This is like, whose line is it anyway? The points are made up and the score doesn't matter.
Well, there was one score that mattered. And I won that.
Next one, I'm going to give you a little bit more time. You're going to have 1 minute. And you guys are going to have to draw.
The sound guys were having fun. They had no warning either.
Thanks, Victor. You guys are going to need to draw a well. A well. Yeah, no, I remember, growing up, I would see like these, an old-timey well. It's like a cylinder made out of bricks. Because I remember seeing these, old, Dutch things that it was, a boy and a girl at a well, and I don't know why I always associated those with Valentine's Day.
I am
And
clearly
figured
just
that's
pulling stuff
not
out of
the
my butt
hardest
at this
thing in the
point.
world to draw.
And see, I didn't realize that at the time. I thought you were just like... Because I was also panicking and going like, how am I going to do this? I was already trying to make a strategy in my head for how am I going to execute this? and like figuring out how to do it in any sort of feasible way. Am I clipping the mic too much?
Nope.
Okay.
You're good. As long as it doesn't go into the red, you're fine.
Okay. But yeah, I was like, how do I do this? Because a well is kind of difficult to draw. You can stylize it so it's easy, but there's a lot of geometric shapes that don't always play nicely with perspective. So I was like, ah, crap, how do I do this? So I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't even realize how nervous you were.
Which is amazing, because I was very clearly very nervous.
Yeah,
So I need
again,
you guys to
look at how tense you are.
Yeah.
draw me.
Oh, wait, go back so we can hear that, because I
I
was
don't know
talking.
why I always associated those with Valentine's Day, and I figured that's not the hardest thing in the world to draw, so I need you guys to draw me.
Not the hardest thing. Not the hard. Okay.
It's hard to draw.
See, I know that now. To be fair, it wouldn't have made any difference.
Also, be honest, you don't associate wells with Valentine's Day at all.
Not as much as I tried to let on.
Do you associate?
A little bit.
Do tell.
No, like literally what I said there is it. I just made it to sound like a bigger deal than it actually was, because I remember seeing like the little, Dutch wells with the boy and girl next to it.
Like the little precious moments figurines.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
So I just, blew it out of proportion for the sake of comedy, kind of.
All right. You have 1 minute starting now.
I feel like we should wait until you're...
I also thought it was fitting, the old hymn, How Deep the Father's Love for Us, and if you've ever actually looked down a well.
Again, I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt at this point.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Pens up. All right, what do we have?
She did a good job.
Especially for the constraints given.
Giving them 1 minute to work with, these are really good. Abby, care to show yours?
I drew well.
All right. Who votes for Harry's well?
Again, pointless
Who
voting.
votes for Abby's well?
Pointless voting.
Yes.
I believe that round goes to Abby. All right.
To be fair, it played into things well.
Next.
It made me believe that this was like an actual competition, and
A
like
sheep.
maybe we would both win a prize at the end.
A sheep. Pure white, and there's a lot of biblical stuff talking about God is our shepherd. Are you ready? 1 minute on the clock.
Okay. I am trying to make this work.
Again, you were just... Now that I watch it, I can tell that you were trying to fill time so hard.
Tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it absolutely mattered. In
Quick
this,
trivia. While they're nice. Quick trivia. Anybody know what a female sheep is called? A ewe.
And I think the first time we shot this, we talked about you were amazed that I didn't catch on to that right then and there, or that I had missed it or something. And I might have genuinely missed it because I was very focused on how do I execute this drawing, but also if I did catch it, I just completely thought like you were just trying to make it interesting, that there was some sort of audience interaction.
I was trying to fill time.
So
But that was very important, for setting things up.
that it set up part of the proposal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're so nervous.
I'm also feeling awkward because what am I supposed to do?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. All right, what do we have? Ooh, very
It's a
nice.
good little sheep.
All right, Abby, what did you draw?
I drew a sheep.
Ooh, nice.
And I you can see some writing on it. That is Beep Beep from the Beep Beep I'm a Sheep song.
Because that
Only the classiest of memes here.
Because that was, as I recall, that had just recently come out, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe a couple years ago. That's just where my brain went.
Yeah. Maybe it was I had just recently gotten back into Asdif. Anyway.
All right.
And this
So
one
who,
ended in a draw,
votes
so I
for
think we
Harry
can...
Sheep?
Yeah. It ended in a draw, which was really good because
How many votes for Abby Sheep?
that made it feel right going into what
I
happened
feel like
next.
that was a tie. So we're going into the final round.
That wasn't planned. That was
This
just
one-
too perfect.
This one is going to be the hardest one, so I'm going to give you a minute and a half.
And here I'm just like, dear Lord, what is he gonna do?
So this was originally supposed to be, a Christmas event, and it's a tiebreaker in honor of this being a Christmas event. I need you to draw me your best minute and a half interpretation of Mary, the Mother of Jesus.
What?
Because I feel like
Little tip, don't randomly ask an artist to draw something that detailed
Human
with no
figure
notice
with no like pencil to make a basic sketch. We're just doing this in marker.
in a very limited amount of time. Little hint, they won't like it. However, it ended really well this time, so.
Well, I think it also helps that a lot of what I draw is portraiture, faces and like from the shoulder up stuff.
Yeah.
So
It kind of played into her wheelhouse pretty well.
it gave me a slight edge on Harry, just in terms of experience.
Sorry,
But
Harry.
she did really well. Lorelai, Harry's her nickname. I don't know
Yeah.
how she got Harry as her nickname,
I honestly don't know either.
but she did a really good job. Good sport, good artist. Props to you.
making it a challenge. Go out with a bang.
And right here.
So you want us to draw a human and a human face. You can just draw a stick figure. I'll do the same. No, I'm just in a minute and a half.
Yes, exactly.
With markers, like no pencils to like maybe get an initial sketch out. No shading. No.
Yeah, pretty much.
You are a sadist.
Not everybody appreciated
Not
that
everyone
joke.
appreciated that joke. I tried.
The guys in the sound booth thought it was funny.
Some of the church moms didn't.
Joy.
I was trying to be funny. Do we want to skip ahead? Since this is 90 seconds of just drawing.
Yeah, I'll...
1, pens down.
You cut out the part where you complimented me earlier. When we watched this whole part through, and you said, and there's Abby with like 8 seconds left, just
Yeah.
finishing like,
No, I do
not
wanna-
to toot my own horn, but I do like compliments.
Yeah.
4,
No, right here.
3, 2, 1, pens down.
Like, she could madly try to add detail, or just be like, yeah, no, I got it.
And what I wanted to say, comment on from the art perspective, is when you reach a certain level of experience and confidence as an artist, you understand after a certain point what you can do in a certain amount of time. And at that point, I knew there was nothing else I could add that would actually add to the quality of the picture, so I just stopped.
Yeah.
But
But it amused me the first time, just...
and I like compliments, so I made him say it again. Kiss the headphones.
All right, let's look at what we've got. We have Harry's Mary.
I was trying to draw Jesus, but like you said, you don't have a pencil, so I drew the arms. I couldn't erase the arms on the baby. Yeah.
She was
Poor
not
Harry.
happy. You
Poor
could see it
Harry.
on her face.
She didn't deserve that.
All right, vote. Who votes for Lorelai's Mary?
You can't hear what she's saying. Right there, she's like, oh, you actually called me by my real name. I was so nervous that I was just quickly saying Harry instead of her actual name this entire time. That's the only time during this whole operation I actually called her by her name.
Votes for Abby's Mary. I've got a question for you, Abby, though, real quick.
So he's got a question for me. I thought he was going to ask me, how did Lorelai do? Like, you asked the experienced artist, how did the new baby artist do? And I was going through my head of like, looking at her drawings and looking at like, okay, I want to build her up a bit. I want to talk about what she did well. And, there were a lot of things that she objectively did well, especially for the time constraints. Her art had very distinctive style to it, and it was honestly really cute to look at. So I was looking at that and then looking at like, what's things I can, in her technique I can compliment her on so that she can go forward and like build on that and feel confident in doing that. And then looking at what's some advice I can give that isn't going to come off me sounding like a jerk. And what I was thinking about was, maybe just kind of advising her to just like work in a bigger space because, as my art professor told me in college, part of what I was doing to myself when I was a younger artist was I was working in too small a space, and that smushes your details in. It makes it harder for your picture to be read well. So that was what was going on in my head. All of that. And
then I derailed the whole thing.
Well, you marry me?
it was a good pun.
I've been planning this for weeks.
All right, just this entire thing.
He wants to watch it again.
Just
again, because we
Abby's-
watched it twice the first time, too.
But you gotta admit, watch Abby's face and just the journey that she goes on. It's amazing. And also, as a side note, Lorelai's face as she realizes what just happened is also priceless. Because it took you a second to realize this was actually happening.
I was in art mode, and then he pulled out the ring, and it was like, oh my gosh, this isn't about. I need to stay on camera. This isn't about art at all. This is about him proposing to me, and this is real, and this is happening. Because here's the other thing. Daniel always said he was going to propose to me around Christmas time, because in addition to having clinical depression, I have seasonal affective depression on top of that, which means winter just sucks for me. It's my worst time of the year. The lack of light, the lack of warmth, it just really drags me down. And then on top of that, I lost a lot of family members. They died when I was a kid. So Christmas was always a reminder of who wasn't around anymore. And for that reason, I just didn't enjoy Christmas as much. So Daniel always said that you always said you were gonna propose to me at Christmas time, so I would have something to smile about with Christmas. And then Christmas came and there was no proposal. So like, okay, he'll propose to me next year. We'll get married later. It's fine. And then February talent show, and here he is down on his knee, and it's like, wait, this isn't December. This isn't Christmas time. What's happening here?
Yeah.
So it was confusing, but I did say yes. It wasn't because I was hesitating. I was just very confused and surprised.
And then just when she realizes I just proposed with a pun. It was amazing.
I've been planning this for weeks.
That's the voice of Mike, the youth pastor, one of 5 people that knew you were going to propose.
Only 5 people knew. And Mike knew because back when this was supposed to happen at Christmas, I was going to do it when it was a Christmas talent show, but, best laid plans. But I took Mike we went out to dinner to Culver's, and I told him, okay, so I'm going to pull Abby up for a game, propose then. It was like, here's the question. Should I, talk to Todd or, organizers of this? And instantly he was like, no, tell no one. Do not tell anyone.
Everyone loves a good surprise. Also, look at your pocket. Hang on, I think I gotta sneeze.
All right.
All right.
Please.
Did you two know?
And that was me asking my parents, who had all but dragged me out of the house to make sure I got to this, because again, I was dealing with a lot of chronic fatigue and fear of leaving the house. And they didn't know. They knew they were 2 of the other 5 people, and I think
The only other person was the camera guy.
the camera guy. So 4 people.
And myself, obviously.
Yeah, 5 people.
So 5 people in the room
Yeah.
knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
A couple of people figured it out while it was happening.
Yeah.
Because there are some smart people in the church. Like one of the girls in the youth group, as soon as Abby went up on stage, she apparently leaned to the person next to her and was like, he's going to propose. I just know it.
She was right. Smart kid.
Smart kid.
But yeah, they knew. They knew.
Is it inappropriate to say hell yeah in a church?
Fun fact, the answer is yes, according to my pastor.
Wait, I thought you said he was fine with it.
No, the guys in the sound booth thought it was funny. The pastor came up to me afterwards and was like, I really wanted to say something, but I wasn't going to ruin the moment.
Yeah, don't.
Fun fact, don't say hell yeah in a church.
Yes, yes.
Big hug. And a kiss.
All right.
Lorelai asking for her notebook back because she was just awkwardly standing there the whole time.
You should have warned her.
I really should have. She should have been on the
I'm
list
so
of
sorry
people
he
who
didn't
knew.
warn you, Lorelai.
Sorry, Harry.
Thank you. All right. I very intentionally did that last because I'm sure nobody wanted to try to go after that. Because I wouldn't. All right. Thank you, everybody.
I'm so happy.
Hey, Todd, you want to pray us out?
Yeah. I have so much adrenaline in my system. You can hear it in my voice during that. Yeah. And then just Todd's reaction right here at the end, I find highly amusing. This is the head pastor of the church.
Wow. I don't know how to conclude this other than to say I thoroughly enjoyed this evening.
So yeah, that's how I proposed. Thank you for watching me reveling in the best pun I have ever made or ever will make.
You've peaked.
There's no topping this.
No. Because that was a triple pun. It was visual, and you used it to propose.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching. Eventually, I'm sure a follow-up video will be made when Lorelai and Abby exact their revenge.
It's coming.
And it will be glorious, and I will probably laugh.
And
And cringe.
be a
during-
little upset.
It'll be interesting. All right. Thanks, y'all.